Dear sons and daughters of St. Francis de Sales, welcome to another day of reflection on the spirituality of St. Francis de Sales. Love is the magical word, if lived in its fullness, renews the world. It's a feeling of peace and excitement that overcomes a person, and you realize you would do anything for them. It's when you feel a deep connection and a sense of affection for someone or something. Love moves a person, moving a person through him moves the world. Everything by love and nothing by force, St. Francis de Sales. The historical background of this particular phrase, do all through love, nothing through constraint or force, dates back to the letter written on 4th of October 1604 in reply to Madame de Chandel, who asked him to be her spiritual director. Among the 9 points, such as temptations, freedom, obedience, life of saints, in the letter, what stands out is do all things through love and nothing by force. It's not just a saying, but a whole life of St. Francis de Sales summarized in a few words. He was a personification of love, that if there was a spark in his heart that did not love God, he would have plucked it out. They say the very first sentence attributed to St. Francis was, "The good God and my mother loved me very much." Already in the womb of his mother, his soul was filled with the divine love. It is true that saintly mothers generate saints. He from the very beginning of his life was convinced that the human being is created to love, and only through the force of love he can convert, change and carry another human heart to God. Constraint or force is a certain lack of freedom that causes the soul to be unduly anxious or angry when it cannot carry out what it had intended to do. By force, one can gain slaves, not friends, and their love. There's a concrete example in his life of what was conquered by force was compelled by love and charity to return to its origin. Geneva was totally a Protestant city. It was John Calvin's great experiment in theocracy, and practicing the Roman Catholic faith there was illegal and dangerous. Francis embarked on a risky mission to evangelize and persuade people to return to the Catholic faith. In those days, the Church of Rome could not admit that Protestants were anything but the enemy, the unsaved. He approached his mission with a genuine spirit of love. Do everything through love, nothing by force. He was later fond of saying to those under his spiritual guidance, he came to the Chablis not out of hatred, not out of fear, or zealous to condemn those who were believed to be in error. He came filled with the love of that magnificent God heart that aches and longs so poignantly for human response. Geneva must have its walls shaken by charity, be invaded by charity, and retaken by charity. He was quoted as saying, "Force cannot withstand the gentleness of love." Geneva returned to the Catholic faith. Love is contagious. The more you love, the more it multiplies. We learn to love only by loving. St. Francis de Sales used to say, you learn to speak by speaking, to run by running, and just so you learn to love by laughing. All those who think to learn in any other way deceive themselves. Madame de Chandel drank from the fountain of the spirituality of St. Francis de Sales and practiced it. Once, when one of her daughters, who was a superior, asked her for a guidance to correct a nun, she said, "I beg you, my dear sister, govern your community with a great expansiveness of heart. Give the sisters a holy liberty of the spirit, and banish from your mind and days a servile spirit of constraint. If a sister seems to lack confidence in you, don't for that reason show her the least coldness, but gain her trust through love and kindness. The more solicitous, open, supportive you are with them, the more you will win their hearts. This is the best way of helping them advance toward the perfection of their vocation. Dear friends, sons and daughters of St. Francis de Sales, all love starts from the self-love and proceeds to the perfection of love, that is God. And so, as St. Francis de Sales says, be patient with everyone, but above all with yourself. I mean, do not be disheartened by your imperfections, but always rise up with fresh courage. While there are many documents, constitutions, directories, letters to maintain the unity and enliven our spirit of mission, the binding force which ensures our unity is simple, genuine, and conditional fraternal love. Everything by love and nothing by force. Live Jesus.